Hello everyone, welcome to this year's first monthly badminton club meeting. My name is Thomas Pate, I am the president of the club. This year we have a couple new issues that the club is facing. For instance, the new tier system that the university is implementing, the international shuttle trade and supply issue with America and external countries, the court time and bookings versus the pickleball club, and pickleball in general. The new tier system that the university is implementing has three different tiers. Tier 1 being the most funding and has more requirements, Tier 2 being less funding and fewer requirements, and Tier 3 being almost no funding but basically no requirements, bar a few. Here are the more specifics about the tier system. As you can see, one of the larger issues comes with the facility space. As you can see, Tier 1 has first priority. Tier 2 has second priority. Tier 3 has third priority. Currently, the pickleball club is in Tier 1 and the badminton club is in Tier 3, which means that no matter what, pickleball will get priority over our court time. Currently, these are the issues that I have first-hand accounts of from our members. And they're all issues specifically with the pickleball club. There's been spitting of gum on court. There's been tracking in mud and grime off of dirty shoes. There's been fighting with building staff and badminton officers over disputed reserved practice time. There's been wearing marking shoes on the surface. And there's been not moving the nets off court after they're done practicing, which is a big thing. Now, we've talked with building staff about this, and unfortunately, due to their higher tier than us, there's not really much that any of us can do at the current moment. Now, historically, the badminton team has held the 6 to 9 o'clock practice slot on Tuesdays and Thursdays and the 3 to 6 on Sundays. However, pickleball now wants that 6 to 9 time slot, and they're Tier 1 with Tier 1 privileges. Therefore, they get the time over badminton, regardless of how long we've had it for. Therefore, badminton needs to be in Tier 1 to acquire the usual practice times. Currently, here are the different clubs in Tier 1, which Matt Schaefer, our liaison with the university administration, sent me. As we can see, pickleball is, in fact, in Tier 1. Here are the Tier 2 teams. As we can see, tennis is also in that grouping. And here we are Tier 3, and we are with the table tennis club, which means we are fighting with them for the sparse remaining court time. And if you're frustrated, like I am, with how the university has been treating us, that leaves us with one solution: get to Tier 1. Now, if you're like me, you ask, how do we get to Tier 1? And that is here. Currently, these are all of the required things that we need to get to Tier 1. So we need to make some changes. We need to have more community service events. We need to have more travel events. We need to have more fundraising, about $2,000 more per event. We need neater club rosters. And we need pass spot checks. Now, here are the benefits we get from being in Tier 1. We get more university funding, in fact, a lot more than we used to get. We get preferred practice times over pickleball, so we can actually compete with them on even footing for our times back. We can get more promotional opportunities, which means we can send out more mass emails and such and host more events. And we can get competitive club uniforms approved through the university, which we cannot get unless we are in Tiers 2 or 1. Now, I have pinpointed our largest issue for getting to Tier 1, and that is fundraising. Our current budget is around $800, and that is the total amount after deducting payments from last semester. We will be bringing in about $1,000 from dues this semester, but that is severely under what we should be fundraising. For a club of our size, to get to Tier 1, we would need to fundraise roughly $10,000 a year. Currently, we're only fundraising around $2,000. Previous roster size of 100, we shaved it down to 28. It's around 50 now, if I accept everyone into the roster, which I don't want to do yet. But if the roster size was 100 like last semester, we would need to raise $20,000 to be in Tier 1. Now, last year, we didn't have as many fundraising opportunities for the club, and this year, I want to implement some more fundraising opportunities so that we can get to that $10,000. So here are the things I want to implement. I want to implement paid in-house tournament entry. I want to implement donation days, paid hitting community days, raise dues and limit official roster, open tournament, and hot chocolate stands. Now I would like to share more information about each of these individual events. The first thing I would like to implement is paid in-house tournament entry. That would be $10 to $50 per entry. There'd be 32-player bracket for co-ed singles and 16 teams for co-ed doubles. We're not sure yet what the prize would be for winning, but if we do this, the revenue generation should be around $380 to $2,400 a semester. I want to do at least one in-house tournament per semester so we still have continuous fundraising no matter what we do. For our next fundraising opportunity, I want to do a donation day. Currently, only our active student members are required to pay dues, and that leaves us a bit short on cash. So what I want to do, if we're going to be having community members coming in to pay, is I want to kind of incentivize donations. And so basically this would be community members are encouraged to make a $50 or equivalent donation in place of paying dues. And that amount can be more or less depending on what you want to give. And they're not required, but they are encouraged. And that would happen usually once a semester. Now, this is sort of a new idea, as you can tell by my insecurity about talking about it right now. But I'm thinking about maybe if the community donates, then we can put a list of people's names who have donated on our Instagram, and we can say thank you to those people, right? Give them some publicity, huh? And of course, the next thing on my list would be an alternative to this if the donation day did not go well, and that would be paid hitting community days. Now, paid hitting community days would take place during our Sunday practices, and that would make a $10 fee mandatory to practice for community members. And the students would also be encouraged to donate at those times. And of course, this would mean that the downside is it's no longer free for community members to practice with us, but it would enable the club to get closer to the fundraising goal for Tier 1 and eventually gain that financial freedom. Either way, depending on how many players will come from the community to play, it could raise anywhere from $640 to $2,500 a semester, which would be a large amount. And of course, there is another alternative or something else we can do at the same time, and that would be to raise dues. Currently, our dues are at $50 a semester, and that's very low for a traveling sports club without a specified travel team. Usually, the sports clubs that travel at the university have an alternate team that pays usually 4 to 5 times as much as the other players to go travel. Now, other clubs charge $200 or more a semester to be on the travel team, but badminton has no distinction between those who travel and those who do not. Therefore, if we want to allow everyone to travel, badminton needs to raise the dues for all members if no distinction is going to be made between that travel team and the normal badminton practice club. And it's unfortunate, but the university has left us with 2 options. Either 1, raise the dues for everyone, or 2, have a separate travel team that will have only people that are on the roster. Those will be the only people on the roster. And that would mean that we would need to hold tryouts at the beginning of each year. Our next fundraising opportunity I would like to implement is an open tournament. This open tournament will be held from March 27 to March 29 of this coming spring. It's been in the works for quite a while, and we've been working with the United States Badminton Education Foundation to finance it. This tournament will enable us to have more people come in to compete, and it will also enable us to increase the rates that we have for tournament entry. Since this will essentially be an invitational for anyone in the community and around the country that wants to practice, this will be the first event of its kind that we're hosting in over a decade. And we want to have cash prize for winning of some amount that is to be determined, and that will be a club decision to make. And then it's a short amount of time to put it on. It's only 3 days, but it's very difficult to put on. But I do believe that it is very much worth the effort. If we have full draws of this tournament, we could be drawing in $12,000 a semester. But of course, that's only if all 5 categories are full. So in the case that we do not get those full categories and the open tournament does not draw as much as we are planning, we have a hot chocolate stand. I believe that a hot chocolate stand would be a good idea. Iowa winters are very cold, and people always need something to keep them warm, right? And so I believe that it would be a good idea to set up a hot chocolate stand with some cheap hot chocolate mix and university-provided thermoses in one of the buildings around campus, and then sell cups for $1 to $2 each. And it's a smaller scale event, but it'd still help us reach our fundraising goal of those $10,000. Now, of course, those fundraising dates are still in talks, and I was hoping that there'd be a couple more people here so that we could discuss this today, but we can always discuss it in our meeting in September, of course, because we will always have a meeting each month. Anyway, that's the end of my presentation for this August's club meeting. I hope to see you all at practice, and good luck out there. Thank you.